Before I was a veteran, I didn't really think about it. I mean, I always thought about it, but I never really knew what it meant. I knew it was just a day to appreciate troops. But more than anything, I just thought of it as kind of like a retail holiday. You know, stores offered, you know, this much off, not even for veterans, but they have Veterans Day sales that seem to be lodged in my head.
We were deployed overseas, and we actually had Veterans Day, and a lot of people were talking about, like, you know, being a veteran, what's the one thing, you know, or being deployed, what's the one thing that you miss most, you know, and I would always say freedom. And, you know, it might be a generalized word for other people, but to me freedom means a lot more, because then you really understand that, you know, when you're deployed over there, you're no longer a U.S. citizen, you're a U.S. soldier.
It's definitely different. You know, I feel proud that day. You know, it's a day for me and my family, my wife and I, to celebrate, you know, what we've gone through. You know, I think of my experiences and my friends, and it has a deeper meaning and a different light on it now, definitely.
Growing up, you know, Veterans Day was just the day, you know, my grandpa and my dad, you know, we would always go to Golden Corral for the Veterans Day meal and stuff, but you know, you look at it a little bit differently, you know, once you've been in. It's not so much like you have to do anything special for veterans, it's just a day for us. You know, we don't necessarily expect anything, it's just a day to just kind of remember.
And I remember just the little things of, you know, kids could play in the street where they weren't before because they were so oppressed. Women could drive and ride in cars where they couldn't before. Just that unlocking of freedoms that we take for granted here, and that was pretty rewarding, just to know that I was the actual part of that, you know, a small part of a larger picture, but an actual part of that.
So it was definitely a rough night with the recruiter and my mother, and I looked at her and I said, you can either do this now and I can pick from any job that they have, or we can wait until I turn 18 in June and I can get bottom of the barrel. And she, with tears in her eyes, she signed the paper and allowed me to go do it.
It was definitely tough being, you know, on call pretty much 24/7. Even if you weren't going to get called in, you were still accountable for your actions. You still had supervisors that were watching everything you did. You know, you're making sure your finances were on point and everything else. So it was definitely just part of what comes with the military. It's what's to be expected. You can't avoid it.
Every time I came back, just getting off that plane, seeing your family for the first time in a long time, it was just kind of a indescribable feeling that, you know, kind of think I'll never feel again.
Feel a great pride and responsibility that, you know, that I think every soldier should feel.
To see these people go from being afraid of them, of the Al-Qaeda, being afraid of us, to you know, having no self-esteem, and, you know, and just living in fear, to do that was probably the most proud day that I ever had. That these people stood up for themselves, and that they and they trusted us, and that they were no longer going to allow this kind of behavior to happen in their village. It was great.
I'm Justin Hull, and I'm a U.S. veteran.
My name is Jacob Smith, and I'm a veteran.
My name is John Edwards, and I'm a U.S. Army veteran.
My name is William Thomas Boggs, and I'm a U.S. veteran.